Good morning, everybody. It is February 1st. I'm Jane Johnston with the Briar Hill Group at Remax Mouse, and welcome to the Victoria Real Estate Show with...
Hey, everybody. It's Andrew Plank here with the EV Real Group in LePage. Welcome, and happy to have you here.
So, where are you?
My first time to Hawaii. So we arrived yesterday. We arrived the night before yesterday, really late last night, that night, and spent the day yesterday at the beach and wandering around shopping. We're staying at Waikiki and hoping to explore Oahu and this beautiful island. Having a good time.
I'm looking at the color of your skin compared to mine.
That's from like a day. I mean, I was pre-gaming. I went and did some tanning in Victoria, but no, yesterday I really got a lot of sun. I tried paddleboard surfing.
How's that?
It was fun. I took a course. I hired an instructor and I went out because I have paddleboards at home. And I thought, it shouldn't be too hard. And once I got a couple of good rides on some waves. There was really big waves, like they were 7 or 8 feet tall. Like they were massive waves. I've never done anything like it. And the instructor was saying that there was some weird weather pattern in there, and normally this beach didn't have such big waves. Anyway, I finally caught a couple of waves, and it was really, really fun. I did not stand up. I was on my knees, full disclosure, but it was really a neat experience when she catch the wave that you just, the power that's behind you that's just pushing you forward, and it's very stable. But I kept forgetting to look forward when you stand up instead of down. And when you stand up and you look down, you go right into the water. So there was one point where I spent a lot of time with waves crashing on me and not being able to get out of that little Maytag washing machine. But anyway, good times, and I'm here to talk about it.
That's funny. You literally go where you visualize, right? So it's just like if you're visualizing, if you're looking down, you're going to go down.
I think I finally got it towards the end of the lesson, and that's great. I mean, at least we got that. I might rent another paddleboard, might just rent and go out. The waves were a lot smaller in the afternoon today, so Kim and I were just on the beach, but I was watching the action from the beach, and I was like, oh, that's totally doable.
So I haven't been there. Last question. Does the air smell nice there?
I mean, I've been to tropical countries a couple of times now, and you get that kind of really, smelly smell of vegetation and decay, but it's not as strong here. And I think partly because, here, look, we're in Waikiki. We're kind of a little off we're not down by the beach, but we've got a canal in front of us, and Honolulu going up the sides there. But I don't know. There's a lot of steel and concrete around us. So although we're in a tropical area, it's not like we're in the jungle.
What's that Joni Mitchell song about a parking lot in Hawaii?
Pay Paradise? No.
Pay Paradise.
I don't. It's not Pay Paradise.
Yeah.
Is it?
It is.
Oh, okay.
Put up a parking lot. Okay. All right. So let's get down to business, everybody.
Yeah, I think we're supposed to talk real estate, aren't we? Anybody want to buy in Waikiki?
It's February 1st, you guys. And we're going to be doing not our monthly update because they're actually not out yet. We're just going to sort of close out January and talk about electrical vehicles today because it is an issue. There's new legislation that came down from the BC government requiring Stratas to accommodate electrical vehicles. So let's talk about that today, and then we'll then you can go and enjoy your holiday. Alrighty?
Sounds good. Excellent.
Poor Andrew. I just subject him to these things.
No, I'm glad to be here. It's 7:35 here right now in the morning, so we're 2 hours ahead.
Awesome.
behind. I don't know.
All right. So, first of all, if you do like anything on this podcast and you know anybody who might be interested, please forward it to them. And we are on YouTube if you want to follow us there under mine, Jane Johnston. And what's your YouTube page, Andrew Plank?
Andrew Plank Realtor. Yeah.
Yeah. And
if
then
you
don't
Google
forget
my name or our names, you'll find us.
Okay, and don't forget to comment, you guys, and we do love to hear what you have to say, so we would love to cover topics of interest to you. All right, so take it away, Andrew.
Oh boy, hold on a minute. So today is February 1st, as Jane mentioned, and so as of the 1st, in the last week, we've had 230 new properties go live on the MLS. 128 properties went pending in the last week. 70 price decreases, 4 price increases, 2 back on market, 154 transacted with the lawyers, 97 expired. Big number, but to be expected as we get into that transition between 2 months. See that all the time. 2 properties were withdrawn. Compared to the week before, we had 183 properties went listed live. So, you know, definitely more and more each week we're seeing coming live. 129 properties went pending, pretty much the same numbers as this last week. So the pendings haven't gone up. In fact, they went down by 1 week over week. 43 property decreases and 3 increases, 0 backs on market, 61 transacted, 37 expireds, and 10 withdrawals. I'm noticing my buyer activity is way up, and was involved in multiple offer again last week with on behalf of a buyer. We lost out, but it was a property that had been on market for 90 days and had, you know, not even had any offers yet. We ended up viewing it, writing an offer, and then unfortunately somebody who saw it in the afternoon also brought an offer and competed, and they took it. But, you know, it's interesting to see properties that have been around a while are now getting activity and even multiple offer activity.
You know, I talk to my clients about writing offers in November, December, because it really is a good time to get a house without, or get a property without competition. And because some people don't feel the urgency, they don't write the offer. They wait till the spring when they're ready. And it has to do with mindset. And now with the interest rate announcement that things are going to be steady, at least for the next month, people are more optimistic. There's more listings coming on, but our list to sale ratio went from 70% to 56%. However, we're looking in real time here. It does. There's going to be more choice, but you're also going to have more competition. So if you find the house you like at the end of the year, from, I would say, November to early January, then just write the offer.
I think that, you know, and Jane, you're right. I think also, though, people in that time frame during that, hey, Jane's right. During that time frame where people are, there's a bit of an unknown, like what's going to come in the spring. Are prices going to go down? Are they going to go up? So although there's also there's less urgency at that time because there's less competition, there's also less confidence and security in what's going to happen. And once that bolsters for buyers in the spring, when they start to see other competition, that is standard psychology. You know, a lot of sales online will say, you know, act now, 5 people bought in the last, 10 minutes. And you're like, right. Oh, people are buying. I should start buying now too. And so spring is really good for that, for unfortunately making people have that sense of urgency, whereas the fall just doesn't bring it. And, you know, people don't want to buy when they feel like other people aren't buying. It's just the way it is. So it is better if the market's going to go up in the spring to buy in the fall, obviously, and you get more selection. The other nuance here is, yes, there's more buyers and there's more listings right now, but that just means there's more focus on the really good listings that come up, and the listings that are overpriced are not necessarily going to sell faster because there's more buyers out there. It's just that the focus is more and more on the good properties. There's going to be more energy focused on still a small amount of properties. It just happens to be more buyers focusing on them.
Right. So the long and the short is, if you want a deal, buy at the end of the year, you're going to have less competition. If you wait till the spring for more choice, you are going to be competing. Just expect that you may have to pay more than asking price.
Mhm.
Okay. Alrighty. So let's go to the next stat here. Month to date, I had to go to the board to ask for this. So
Oh,
by the end of the month, we had 286 sales in January 2024. That's compared to 278 for January 2023. So we are pretty much equal year over year. New listings were at 840 for January 2024, and that's compared to 805 last year. And our total listings is still low at 2,114. That's compared to 1,739 last year. So we're doing well. We're doing well.
okay.
Now, I
Oh,
don't expect you to view this. I will read it off. Electric vehicles, they're becoming more and more a part of our community. And so there is a rebate available through the BC government. If your income is less than 80,000, you can have a rebate of up to 4,000 for, I don't know what a BEV and long range vehicle is.
a PHEV, and I forget what it stands for, but it's a hybrid electric vehicle.
Right. Okay. And then if it has less than 85 kilometers, you get a 2,000 rebate, $2,000. If your income is between 80,000 and 90, you can get a $2,000 rebate for an EV, and with short range, just $1,000. And if your income is up to 100,000 and greater than 90, you can get a rebate of $1,000. And you have to apply for these rebates, and then you can go and buy the car.
Or do
So
you buy the? You have to apply first and then buy the car. You can't buy the car and then apply retroactively. Interesting.
correct. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm going to put the link in here so people can see it.
Now there's also there was no PST, was there not, on electric vehicles under a certain price point, or was it GST? When you're buying
Um,
a electric vehicle, I remember this because I bought mine used and mine was above the threshold, but you can actually not pay. At least there was a time you also were not paying one of the taxes for an electric vehicle. Anyway, we're going to go through what we have here, and I think just know that there are other incentives as well, and they come and go all the time.
right. I'm just seeing here there's up to $5,000 at a point of sale to Canadian individuals and businesses for purchase or lease of light duty ZEVs. Most personal vehicles like cars, SUVs, and light pickup trucks fall into the light duty vehicle category. So they're also promoting this for trucks. That's just out on January 17th. So, alrighty. Now you do have to be earning less than $100,000, and I don't know if that's per person or for a couple. You do need the pre-approval, and you're only allowed the rebate once in your life. And then, if
I,
it's
I, sorry, it's not like buying a home. So usually you've got one person named as owner on these things. So it would probably be your own income based on this.
I'm thinking. I'm
Yeah,
not. I'm just not assuming.
right.
It's not household. Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay, so for the smaller cars, you can't apply these to any cars worth more than $55,000. And for larger cars, if it's the sticker price is $70,000 or more, it's not eligible. So they're looking for budget. All right. So this is interesting to me. So
Nice. Yeah.
the provincial government is wanting to actually force Stratas to incorporate EVs into Stratas. It is an issue. I know a friend of mine that we both know purchased an EV car, and so he had a long plug that went to a common area, extension cord that went to a common area plug, and he plugged in his car every night. And, that's really awkward. Plus, you're using common property. So, what they've done now is they are outlining a process so that if a Strata owner requests to install one, they have to actually give them a timeline and a proposal with how it's going to be installed. And they can't say no. And they can actually grant an owner on common property up to 5 years exclusive use of that property stall, which made
That's
that makes sense to me.
strange and interesting. I mean, I just wonder how that works when you've got 3 or 5 owners also requesting charging, or and there's only one plug-in, or the power in the Strata does not. The power has already been maxed out by the Strata. There's not extra power to bring in. I mean, this is like what we see with older Stratas with limited plumbing, and people are wanting to put in washing dryer into their own units when it's not designed for it.
Right. So they're going to have to come up with a plan. And I know I have a client who purchased a townhome in Sydney, and when they were advertising these townhomes originally for sale, they were saying that everybody could have EV, but they realized that actually just like in plumbing, the amount of power coming into the Strata wasn't enough to accommodate everybody to have EV parking. So they were going to have to come up with some sort of way of managing it. And there is a requirement now, speaking of which, that they have to do an electrical planning report for the Strata if you have 6 or more units.
Okay.
So they are going to look at the current electrical capacity.
Right. So it's not clear yet. I mean, it sounds like the provincial government, and sorry, folks, I haven't read through this in detail. I was distracted. I'm being traveling, but this is all stuff that you should look into yourself. Don't go buy a Strata assuming for sure you're going to get an EV parking just because there's some new rules here. There could be a long timeline. There could be infrastructure challenges. And maybe this gets challenged in some way, but provincial government's been pretty good lately at putting things through that sounds like a good idea, and then we need to maybe get a little deeper into the details before we know for sure the true impact and how it actually benefits us.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a depreciation report for electricity, and apparently it's a one-time report. I'm assuming that it'll be incorporated into the depreciation report anyway.
Right. Yeah. That makes sense. It's not something you're changing every, the electrical system and the electricity coming into the building isn't changing every 5 years even. It's pretty a stable setup. You have how many ever amps coming in and distributed in such and such a way.
Right. And how right now what happens is when you purchase into a new building, depending on which municipality, Saanich requires EV parking for all new parking spots. Langford and I believe Colwood require a percentage of EV parking for parking spots. And then if you want an upgrade, you have to pay for it. So I've been quoted for my clients anywhere between $5,000 and $10,000 to put in EV, or just have the plug going to the parking stall. And then different stratas. So for instance, there's a building downtown where what they've done is they've brought in a common property hookup, and everybody who has an EV pays a fee, $25, and then they can go and charge whenever they want.
Right. And that would work well when there's maybe 2, 3, maybe up to 4, possibly 5 people in the Strata charging their cars. They'll have their own parking spot, and then when they need to charge, they'll put it there. But you're going to be paying you're going to be trying to share that space, and there's going to be times where you're going to need a charge and it's going to be taken up, and maybe somebody parks there a little too long. It's there leaves room for some um, for some for some unhappiness.
Right.
The other thing,
So
yeah, go
So
ahead.
just looking at the cost of EV, I mean, I have an EV and I've been using it more and more for work. It is supposed to be for work, so we're doing it 100%. We charge 100% at home, and over the last 31 days, and it's been very cold, right? -15. So I've spent $50 on electrical, and the estimated gas savings, they say, would have been $214. So that you
Which I
can get
think,
all these stats.
yeah.
Hmm?
And when I see that, I think that's conservative. Remembering when I had my Hyundai and how much I would spend on gas per month versus what I'm paying. When I see those estimates of how much you're saving, I think, um, and knowing, Jane, how much you drive as well, I feel like those estimates are a little light. But
I do too,
anyway,
actually. I have a friend who he drove his car. So he had a truck that he was driving up to Duncan from Oak Bay, and then so what he did was he filled his truck up, drove back and forth, and filled it up again to see how much it actually cost, and then
yeah,
he compared that over a month to his EV, and he was just saving hundreds of thousands of dollars. But I think
hundreds
over the
and
year,
thousands, not hundreds of thousands.
thousands of dollars. I think over the course of a year, though, what I'm seeing is people are going to be downloading. Like I see solar panels going on roofs everywhere. That's what's going to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah, once we redo our roof, we're considering the same. I mean, we have some colleagues, mutual friends, um, uh, that have solar panels on their roofs, and they've got electric vehicles, and they're just so happy because it's just being a little more off grid, a little less reliant on the grid, but also being that self-sufficient, and it's just kind of fun knowing that the sun is doing this for you. So
Yeah, and it's relatively painless. The only thing is where I live is we have a lot of trees in the area, so as you can see behind me, so we get a lot of shade. So anyway,
it may be
I'm
harder
sure we
for
can
you
figure it out.
to figure it out. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Do you have anything coming up?
Um, we've got what have I got coming up? I've had a number of conversations with people who may be bringing something to market, but there's nothing confirmed. So I may have a condo coming in the Cedar Hill area off Shelburne. I could have a home coming in the sort of the Swan, not quite Swan Lake, the Upper Quadra area, single family home. Um, I'm blanking, but I know I've had multiple conversations over the last while with people who are getting ready to go. There's possibly a really beautiful waterfront coming up in Esquimalt. Um, it all depends on people's timelines. They're not necessarily ready to go this instant. There's still conversations being happening. But I certainly am, like I said, working with loads of buyers. I've left my business partner, Josh, everything in his capable hands. We've had a number of properties either offered on or going under contract very recently. He's juggling all kinds of things while I'm away. It's good for him. Uh, and yeah, how about you, Jane?
I have a listing coming up tomorrow, 7 Stillwater. It's at the corner of Helmkin and where the roundabout is, close to the highway. It's very like you could walk to the hospital. It's going to be priced at $989. It's on 0.22 of an acre, and so it's quite large. And it is a corner lot, and so 5 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and 989. So we're going to do an open house on Saturday. I'll be there if anyone wants to come and meet me, 2 to 4. And then I have a condo coming up on Jacqueline That's coming up next week, and that will be $474,900. So we're pricing these to sell, and then I have a new listing coming up on Friday, which is 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. I just did a little video about it yesterday. It's in Port Renfrew. It allows Airbnbs. It's super cute. Totally turnkey. You just come in and take over the Airbnb. The owner will guide you through the process, and they have a website set up, and that one is $825, which is $50,000 less than the nearest closest one for.
Nice. And we should confirm that that area is not affected by the Airbnb rules. Is that correct? Like for the
That is
population?
correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and it's
Good.
a whole
So that's
community, so they're not going to, not in the short term anyway. It just makes sense. And it's so funny how seasonal Port Renfrew is. Yesterday, I was driving through and everything was closed opening today. So I didn't bring a lunch with me. I was expecting to go to a local bar right near one of the piers that was closed. I was like, oh my God. I was driving around. Everything was closed. So
folks, if you live in the Victoria area and you've never been to Port Renfrew, I highly recommend it. Botanical Beach is just beautiful, and it's the closest you can get to. It's the shortest drive you can get to true West Coast experience. Otherwise, you're going around to Tofino and Ucluelet and so forth. And Port Renfrew is just beautiful, and it's a quaint, tiny, small little space. But there's beautiful camping. It's just this launching point to the West Coast Trail.
yep.
It's a great space.
And when
But
I was
make sure it's
looking at
open.
it, when I was looking at it on the map, it's kind of like the last place that's kind of covered by the Olympic Mountains to the west. So it's not totally open to the Pacific Ocean. It's not like Tofino. It's just a little bit protected, and it's a bay. I did do a video yesterday, and the reason why I did the video was that was the first place that I went to when I was a teacher in the 90s, and I came out to teach marine environmental science, and I was able to walk through the forest. I remember thinking it was just like Star Wars. When they have that scene when they're flying?
Andor. Yeah, the moon of Andor. It's very beautiful, alive, and huge trees, and
Yeah.
no stormtroopers or Ewoks.
So I went to Fairy Creek, and I went to the park, the campground, which is closed. And then I saw the bonsai tree, and it's totally beautiful, you guys. Highly, highly recommend it.
This is the tree in Lizard Lake that is very famous. It's on all kinds of calendars, and photographers are always taking pictures of this little tiny tree that grows in the middle of the lake on a bit of a log, and it's just been growing there for years. It's never grown bigger.
Yes, so it was a
But
bit
it's
smaller
gorgeous.
than I expected. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to show you.
Oh, you're gonna find the picture of the tree, and you see that it's funny because you see it like that picture is famous. It's worldwide. I'll sometimes see it just come up randomly, but yeah, so good camping, beautiful beaches. Botanical Beach is not in the bay, so it's got all these beautiful tidal pools, and do have to watch for waves and tide. But a gorgeous, beautiful place to go beachcombing and look in the tide pools, and very interesting structures. There's, as I said, the camping, and it's part of the Circle Tour. So if you are wanting to do camping or do a good drive, you are driving over some logging roads, but you can go from Victoria up past Stewart through Port Renfrew, and then you can connect up through the logging roads back up to Cowichan Lake and Lake Cowichan in the city, and then through to Duncan and back home. And it's you want to do that, maybe you can do it in a day, but it's better to do it as part of a camping adventure. Or we took the RV one time. I highly, highly recommend that route. It's super fun, but do be aware it is a logging road in the back there.
So I don't know if I'm able to share this with you. and we are getting off topic, but it is, oh, here we go. Can you see that? That's the view as I was driving. And
Oh,
then
right on.
that's going over the bridge towards Fairy Creek. And then, hold on. I'm going to show you the little bonsai tree. Can you, oh, you can see it. Okay. So just so stunning.
I'm seeing a roadway right now.
Yeah, that's on the way. I'm just
Okay.
looking. Here we go.
I did not. Oh, there's the bonsai tree. Yeah.
And it's only probably about 3 feet tall.
Yeah.
Which surprised me. So
anyway, looks like you had a good time.
There we go.
It's a beautiful space, folks, and you get, true West Coast. Anyway, that's a bit of a distraction from real estate, but that was good. This is what we love about being around here. It's not just the city of Victoria; it's being able to go out of the city and find fun adventures.
Yeah,
I haven't seen a bonsai tree here yet.
I'm going up again on Sunday. If anybody wants to come with me, I'm going to be leaving around 11. So let me know. All right. Have a great week. Have a good holiday. You deserve it. And looking forward to seeing your pictures. Don't forget, you guys, we are every Friday or Thursday on, and I don't know what we're going to do regarding the stats. We might try and do them ahead of time, but we are every Thursday at 9:30. So please check in with us. If you have any questions, please let us know. We love to cover topics of interest to you. Andrew, how do people get in touch with you?
Yeah, reach out. I'm at 250-360-6106. Email is info@andrewplank.com. Website is andrewplank.com. And Instagram is plankandrew.
Awesome.
That's it.
If you want to reach me, I'm Jane Johnston. My number is 250-744-0775. My email is briarhillgroup@gmail.com. Please visit us on our website at briarhillgroup.com. And if you want to watch these shows and more, or Andrew's travels, go to victoriarealestateshow.com and follow me on Instagram at briarhillgroup or realtyteacher_Remax Victoria. See you later. Have
See you
an
later.
awesome holiday. Thanks for joining us.
Bye. Okay. Bye, Jane.